Happy Sunday. This is Spilled Milk Sunday, third episode. We're on a roll, and it is a beautiful day here in New York City, and we are so excited for today's episode where parenting gets real. We have a special guest who will be tuning in from the UK. So we have to, as usual, wait for our guests to tune in, to invite them into the live. But make sure you grab your cup of coffee or your mimosa. Mamas. This is like my favorite cup. Grab your cup of coffee, your mimosa, tune in with us. Oh, there she is right now. Let me invite her in. Meeting to connect. Hi!
Hello.
How are you?
I'm very good. How are you doing?
Good, good. So for all our mamas watching and for all the moms catching the replay after episode, this is Alexandra Gryzbek. Did I say your name right?
Yeah, Gryzbek.
Shibek?
Gryzbek, yes.
Oh, I love that. Shibek.
Yeah, Gryzbek. You know what's funny? You know what Gryzbek means in English?
What does it mean?
Mushroom.
What?
Yeah.
That's so fun.
Yeah, it's a mushroom.
Oh my God. And Shibek is Polish, right?
Yeah, it is Polish. It's my husband's name. So, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I'm Mrs. Mushroom. Yeah.
That's so cool. So you are tuning in from the UK, and so this is a special edition. Loud and proud. Whatever are you?
Yeah, live from London, yeah? BBC London.
And I want to, just to give everybody some information about you. So I have a bunch of stuff I want to say about you. You are a fitness trainer, I'm reading right now, health coach, runner, nutritionist, and you're a mom. So you have a 3-year-old. He's 3 now, right?
He's 2.5.
2.5.
Yeah, so he will be 3 this year. Yeah.
Wow. And you are full of energy and you're very active. You were dancing. It says here you were dancing for 15 years. I didn't know you were a dancer. When I looked at that, I was just like, what?
Yeah. I've been dancing for a while since I was a little one. Yeah, I've been dancing. I started dancing like at the family parties. And I was entertaining everybody, whether they liked it or not, whether they wanted it or not.
You're doing it.
Performance. Yeah.
That makes so much sense because you're active. So you've done several marathons. You've done a half marathon. You've done a Tough Mudder, which I know.
Yes, I've done a Tough Mudder.
So I did the Spartan race like 3 years ago, and they're like very similar, right? Where you have obstacles, the Tough Mudder.
Yeah.
So I know.
Congratulations.
That was really, really hard. So
I know Tough Mudder was not easy as well, and yeah, I honestly admire everybody who is doing Spartan race, rat race, Tough Mudders, and stuff like that because it's crazy.
Yes. After I did the Spartan race, I was like, I'm done. No more with these marathons. I'm done with marathons. That's it. I've accomplished. I need to accomplish. No more.
Right.
No.
Right.
But you've
done it, so you have it on your list. Yeah.
Yeah. So you are also a mompreneur. You're an entrepreneur, and you are hustling. And I know you have a big announcement you made the other day. So we're gonna save that to the end of this episode.
Yes.
To share with all moms. But
all right.
You are working super hard to promote your business, and you're doing it with something that you are very passionate about, health and wellness.
Yes.
So our first segment of Spilled Milk Sundays is where parenting gets real. For you to share your wins and your losses with parenting, either this week or, any other time, any other situation that you want to share. But go ahead, share with our moms what you've been through this week.
What I've been through this week. All right. So this week, first of all, Monday, because apart from everything what you just said, I'm also working full time.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So not in my business, in like, I have a real job as well. I mean like a job. Yeah, so like, Monday to Friday. So I actually work for the company who produces and sells traditional London black taxis.
Oh.
So London black cab, yes.
Wow.
So I'm selling them to taxi drivers.
Oh my God. So
yeah, and I've been.
So how is that affecting your mom life? How's the full-time? So I want to preface this because a lot of people, and I hate when they do this, I'm not saying you, but a lot of people, they say that that's your real job. You do a 9 to 5, but in essence, your real job is being a mom. That's your priority. That's the most important job. And you're working your 9 to 5 so that you could be a better mom, right? And you're hustling and do your side things so you can do something for yourself and for your kids. And your hustle is also your job, so your 9 to 5 is definitely going to be your breadwinner, bringing in your money, but it's not your primary job, But how does it affect your daily life as a mom, doing all those things?
It's busy. It's very busy because, like, I got back to work when my baby was like 15 months old. So he's like at the nursery. He's going to Montessori nursery that I really love, and he's grown so much over there. And yeah, so and like for us also, because myself and my husband, we are Polish, so we speak to him Polish, but at the nursery he speaks English, so he's already like talking 2 languages, which is amazing.
Wonderful.
Yeah, I always love that about like, kids who have like parents from different countries or been living in different countries, that they can talk 2 languages. Yeah, so I got back to work like in January last year, 2017. And yeah, so it's quite crazy because, I'm working full time. And my actually hours of work are crazy in terms of that I cannot even drop my little one and pick him up from the nursery. My husband is doing this because he has like his business, so he's more flexible in terms of like, morning and evening. So to be quite fair, it breaks my heart that I cannot pick him up and drop him off.
Yeah.
And even like to the extent when I was on the training course like a month ago and I was able to drop him off and pick him up, I kind of said that this is like, what I want to do. That's why I'm working very hard on my business right now in order to be able to focus on the business full time, so have the opportunity to drop him off and pick him up. After 3 days when I was doing that, like, on Sunday, he was like, "Mommy, would you drop me off at the nursery tomorrow?" And I was like,
oh my God, I know that must have broken your heart.
Yeah, so that is like, there are a lot of things why I want to like, focus on my business full time, but this is like I would like to be able to spend like more time with him. I would like to be able to, because, at the moment he's like at the nursery full time, but like, yeah, in a moment he will be like, going to school. We will start like, doing, I don't know, football or whatever. So I would like to be able to have the flexibility to, drop him off, pick him up and watch him like, doing all those crazy, amazing things. Like, they are little only for a while. And to be honest, they are like your kids until they are like 16, 18. Well, I mean, they are your kids all the time, but you're missing like those moments. So yeah. On the other hand, when I was like with him for like 15 months at home, I love to beat, but I'm the type of person that I cannot beat 24 hours with him all the time.
Oh yeah.
I need some other bits and pieces as well. So in terms of like, when parenting gets real, like last week you asked me what I've been up to. I was actually on the training from my company. So like Tuesday and Wednesday I was in the other city of UK. So I couldn't see him, and I was calling him, of course, WhatsApp, FaceTime, whatever, but he was not really interested. He likes calling me when I'm at work because he wants to see London taxi.
Yeah.
But when I was like, in a hotel room, it was quite boring. So he was not really interested.
Well,
but when I was at the hotel, what was the amazing thing was that I have the whole bed to my own, and I couldn't live without somebody kicking me. So that was,
Well, you're touching on 2 important things. So dropping our kids off you know, to preschool or school or to a babysitter, it's tough for us. You know, we want that those special moments that you said. Thankfully, you have a partner that's an extension of you that can do it for you and do it for him, obviously, because he's the dad.
Mm-hmm.
But thankfully, you have that, you know. And then we want to do our own thing, do our own business, so we have the flexibility to be with our kids and spend more moments with our kids and do more things. But at the same time, we want our own mommy time. We want to be by ourselves, to feel like ourselves, because when we become moms, we lose a huge chunk of who we are, right? Because we're so into them and what they like and what they want to do. But what about us? You know, what about the things that we love to do? So, you know, a lot of moms, they feel guilty. You know, they're away on trips for work. They're doing a lot of stuff. And it's hard. I hate the word balance, but it's hard to balance, you know, hard to manage both. So we have to give ourselves a break sometimes, like, you know, just give ourselves a break, you know, because it's just life and you just have to roll with it. You know what I mean? So,
absolutely.
So hot topics. So I sent you some hot topics. So lately, I've been seeing articles about buying breast milk versus selling breast milk. I mean, buying breast milk versus donating breast milk. I want to hear your thoughts on that.
To be quite honest, when I saw like this topic, it's something new for me, to be quite honest, because I've been breastfeeding for like 20 months, and I've been breastfeeding my little one, and I was not selling breast milk. To be quite honest, at the beginning of my pregnancy, I didn't even know that you can do that. So I was quite like, okay. And, you know, I think, enough milk supply that I didn't have that much excess that I would be even able to sell, donate, whatever. So when I heard about it for the first time, I was like, okay, that's quite interesting. And as I'm saying, I was not in the position to sell or to donate because I didn't have like that much milk. Well, I had enough to breastfeed my baby, but, you know, not, you know, my boobs were not like crazy big that, you know, I could, you know, share with the world.
Yeah.
And with regards to selling or donating, I think it's like very individual. It's like, you know, it all depends. First of all, like how much milk you've got. Second of all, what's your own opinion about it, etc. And also your personal situation. Because, you know, sometimes, you know, mom, you know, maybe single mom may have some, you know, problems, challenges in terms of like, you know, raising the child on her own. And, you know, I mean, financial challenges as well. So, you know, if that amount of money that she can earn from, you know, selling something that, you know, she can help somebody else. You know, I think it's like, you know, it's absolutely fine. If anybody chooses to donate, I think it's like very personal, to be quite fair. So I was thinking about it like from the other side, whether I would like to use, because I don't know, who do we sell it to? I heard that you can sell it to like some people who are like very competitive in terms of like gym or whatever, like, you know, that apparently is lovely for muscle building, etc. So
yeah. So I know a lot of companies, what they do is they screen. So one of our bloggers, his name is Vance. He's a pediatrician. He owns an app called BBY that sells breast milk, and he has a screening process. And then you have milk banks. We featured a ton of milk banks. Last year we had a whole series, and that's where you donate breast milk to that need it. But they also have a screening process. You have to do a background check, do a health screening to make sure, you know, it's not number one, you don't have any conditions that might affect the breast milk and the babies who are going to be receiving it, and you're doing it for the right reasons, basically. So there are a lot of ethical questions, like, you know, is selling breast milk the right thing to do? Is it an ethical thing to do? But also there's a lot of work that goes into pumping your milk, you know, so are we selling ourselves short by not selling our breast milk? You know, because there's work going into it. If we have extra to give, why not sell it?
As I'm saying, I haven't come across like myself like that decision.
Yeah.
And but you know what? My mom always used to say. She always said that you always need to be in a situation in order to know how would you behave. Because, you know, at the moment, I'm kind of like, okay, maybe, but I don't know.
Yeah.
I was in that situation. And if I was, whether I would donate or sell, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe like, you know, if I wanted to like help, etc., and I had like access, I would donate.
Yeah.
But maybe if my financial situation was very difficult or challenging, etc., maybe, you know, I would sell. And I don't really want to like, you know, I'm not judgmental. I think that, you know, when people do like different things, you know, for the right reason, it's okay. Well, of course, you know, I'm not saying that you need to be doing wrong things, but I mean, like, you know, right things for the right reason.
Mm-hmm.
So I think everybody has like, you know, their own thinking process. And yeah, so I don't really want to say whether it's better to donate or sell, because I think that it depends on the person and depends on the personal circumstances. That's my opinion.
Absolutely. So talking about breast milk, traveling with children while you're a nursing mom. So in the United States is this whole big thing. And I think I might have emailed you about this too. And I don't know if you responded like, oh my God, that's a huge topic. Where do we start? You know, but traveling in the United States can be tough for us, you know, because all these regulations, you know, how much breast milk can you bring? That, you know, when the TSA agents test your breast milk, or even just traveling with kids and how messy and uncomfortable or crazy stressful it might be for the moms, or even the other passengers on the plane with you. You know, how uncomfortable they may be. You know, how do you deal with it? So, what is it like traveling in Europe with your kids? I know you've done a bit of traveling. You go into Poland a couple times. You know, I don't know if you've traveled around to the other countries, but what is it like traveling there with your baby?
Yes, I'm traveling like quite a lot. Like, you know, I'm going like Poland one way and the other, like, you know, very often, like every couple of months, etc. But I've been also, we've been since our little one was born, we've been to Sicily. Like last year, where did you go last year? Jesus Christ, I forgot. Last year we've been, Jesus, I have like, you know.
It's okay.
Like we've been to Paris as well, but like last year our holidays, Jesus, I forgot. Okay, it will come back to me. Well, it was not Europe. Like last year we went to Mauritius, so it was like quite a big holiday. So it was long holiday. It was not Europe, but like it was long holiday. And like we've been traveling like around UK, etc. So like, how was it for me and what I see? Because I was breastfeeding for like 20 months, and every time when I was going away, I didn't have like milk like in the bottle like expressed, because I was basically breastfeeding on the go. So you know what, and I have like the opinion, and I've never had nobody like challenging me about it. When I needed to breastfeed, I was breastfeeding, whether I was on the plane or whether I was on the bus or wherever, or at the airport, in a coffee shop, wherever, I was breastfeeding. Mm-hmm. Nobody has ever approached me saying that it's not appropriate or whatever. Honestly, I've never had this problem. And I've been like, you know, in London, I've been in like different like European cities and different countries. And as I'm saying, this is my personal experience. I've never had a problem. And any of my close friends that have been traveling like to different places, I haven't heard any story that it was like a problem that, you know, you need to kind of do this or that, etc. And to be honest, I've never kind of used any umbrellas or things like that. I was basically like, you know, breastfeeding. Of course, I didn't expose myself to the word, but I was quite like just natural. And as I'm saying, I've never had like, you know, any challenge about that. Uh-huh. So, and even like the other way around, it was, I think that, you know, because sometimes I was traveling like to Poland on my own without my husband. Mm-hmm. And when I was using like Ryanair flights, for instance, until like the baby is like 2-year-old, you are not buying the separate space for him. He's sitting on your lap. So, you know, sometimes he was crying, etc. And like, you know, I was afraid that people would be like, oh my God, I don't want to sit next to her. But actually, I always found like people sitting around me very helpful. And they were like, when, for instance, I needed to pick up it was winter time, etc. You know, I had him and I had my bags. I needed to put a coat, etc. So people were holding him, for instance, for me to help. So I really always have like people who were very helpful. So, I remember actually like once when we were traveling to Paris, we went going from London to Paris, we took like Eurostar train, and we got like the sitting backward, and my husband doesn't like sitting backward, and we wanted like to change like sitting forward.
Yeah.
So we went like to sit somewhere, and it was like a table in the middle, so we were facing forward, and it was like the lady with about 8-year-old, and like when both of them looked at us, and like when they saw us with the baby, their face dropped. Like,
oh,
like,
no.
Because they were kind of thinking that it was a Hollywood journey. But actually, the little one, he fell asleep, and he's been sleeping for like an hour and a half, so it was absolutely no problem. Yeah, so that was, I remember like this one incident when somebody was like, kind of, they didn't say a word, but you could see like, oh my God.
Yeah. They probably thought they were going to spend the whole journey by themselves sitting at the table enjoying it, and then you came down with a baby and they were like, oh no. Crying baby. Yeah. So what are the regulations like in Europe? Are there really strict regulations with traveling with breast milk? I know with the train it's different, but like flying, are there specific regulations?
You know what? I'm sorry, Priya, but I don't know, to be quite honest.
Okay.
Because I've never been like, carrying like the milk. I've been always like carrying myself, and that was, milk. So I didn't really, I don't really know. I know that like every single time when, after like, he turned 6 months, when we were going and I had some kind of, sachets for him, some kind of food, etc., it was checked. So every single time we needed to kind of spend much longer at the airport checks, because they needed to scan water, drink, this, that, and the other. I remember also when, for instance, I was buying him like even orange juice or some kind of juice. I couldn't have it in the normal, let's say, Tropicana bottle or whatever. I needed to put this into his kind of bottle, and because it was like over 100 milliliters. So, for the hand luggage, it had to be like that. In terms of milk, like expressed milk, etc., I don't really know. I'm sorry, I don't know. I would need to find out.
I would assume it's very similar to the United States. If you're flying on airlines, the TSA regulations would be similar to the European regulations with the amount of liquid you could travel with. Because if you're coming into the US, for example, from Europe, you would have to abide by those regulations. But yeah, it's okay. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to look it up and see if there are any comparisons, any big, like, difference between the two. I'm going to look it up. But thank you for sharing that. It's great that you haven't like experienced anything huge traveling. You hear moms all the time. Yeah. And I wonder if it's because of the culture in Europe, cultures, everybody's so used to breastfeeding moms. There's no, society and, TV and stuff has really objectified women, but people in Europe, I find, are very different when it comes to how they view women's bodies. Here in the US, everybody's like, oh my God, I see a boob, but they're in Europe, they're like, oh, whatever,
Really? I'm actually shocked, because I always kind of thought that Americans are like so open, etc. So, I'm actually shocked that what you are saying.
No. So I always say it's because we were founded by Puritans. Puritans came from Europe eons ago, and that Puritan mindset that you have to cover your wrists, your ankles, women can't show skin has like, been absorbed into our society, and it's a very conservative view that women shouldn't be showing their bodies. But yet, you see half-naked women on TV, so it's just, I don't know, it's like a catch-22, I guess.
Yeah.
So
I think also.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I think also because like I'm living in London, and like London is very cosmopolitan. London is like you have everybody here from all over the world, and you see people on the street dressed up and doing crazy things. Nobody cares, kind of. So when you are breastfeeding your baby, it's like whatever. Feel sad. I think it's just like the very. But having said that, like New York City, I would say that is also like very similar to that, because it's also like very cosmopolitan, I would say. So
yeah, New York City people don't pay attention. They're just like tunnel vision. So I want to start talking about your business. We're on to the last segment of our show. And I would love for you to share with everybody what has just happened with your business, Active Healthy Mama. Go ahead.
What's just happened with my business? Yeah, I started actually, like, how I started this business is very interesting because I actually, when we were talking about, where parenting gets real,
yeah,
and that we moms love our kids, but we need something to do ourselves, like something on our own. And so that was actually myself. Before my baby turned 7 months, I've completed my first ever marathon and Tough Mother.
Yeah.
So I've been training since he was like 3 months old, breastfeeding. He's not been sleeping through the night until he was like, for the whole time I was breastfeeding, actually, like, for like 20 months, he's been not sleeping through the night. So it was crazy. I was exhausted. I was training for the Tough Mother and the marathon, and I didn't know what my name was. But although it was so exhausting, I really needed this time for on my own. I needed to go to the gym. I needed to go for a run to clear my head, to do something for myself. And every single time, even if I thought that it was so difficult, every single time after I was coming back from my training, I felt like a better mom, better wife, and a better person. Because all those stresses, like I could just clear it off. I could punch the bag in the gym, and that was amazing. So when I completed this marathon and Tough Mother, when he was like 7 months old, I was like, oh my god, that was a turning point, like for me. And then my business, like Active Happy Mama, was born. So that was basically like the place where my business is about, I help women get back in shape after pregnancy.
Yeah.
And showing them ways how to combine healthy and active lifestyle with motherhood, how to make it possible. Because it is possible. And I believe that, if you don't look after your body, and not only physically, but also like, your mental and emotional sanity, if you don't look after yourself, like your body, you have nowhere to live.
Yeah.
So, and, for me, and I've been talking to many moms, when I had my training, when I was looking after myself, when I had some time for my own, it was much better for my mental kind of, clarity, sanity, for my emotional well-being. And I believe that, if I could do it, others, they need to do it as well. They can, it can help them as well. So I started like with a blog, and then I started like putting up like more products. But recently, I've been a part of amazing coaching program. So basically what happened is that I'm officially now a coach.
Yay!
So yeah, so I'm taking like, the business at the moment to the next level. So I'm offering like one-to-one coaching program. I will be offering group programs as well. So I basically would like to work closely with moms, and not only helping them lose that baby weight, but also helping them feeling much happier and healthier and more fulfilled in their motherhood. So
is there a curriculum that you're following as a coach? Is there like standards and rules that you have created or you have learned about that you're using?
Yes, absolutely. So when I'm doing like, one-to-one coaching, I basically start with like a discovery call with somebody just to kind of find out what their dreams and expectations and needs are, and just kind of seeing like, where they are now and where they want to be, and to find out also whether we will be like, a good match. When you are working with somebody like closely for like 3 months, you would like to kind of see whether, we can fit, right?
Yeah.
How it looks like.
Yeah.
So, and then basically, if it's a yes from like, both sides, we kind of schedule our, like, the person signs up to the program. And I have like kind of couple of things like in the program. So first of all, I'm kind of focusing on them, losing weight, etc. So it's a lot about like training and nutrition, like, everything. Motivation, but one-to-one sessions that I'm doing like once a week with the person that I'm working with, it's like more, there's like, the program for like 12 weeks, of course, but like, we are focusing here like on the mindset, because everything is here. To be quite honest, we are living in a world that what you need to do in order to lose weight. Like, it's not rocket science, right? You need to exercise and eat properly. So everybody knows what to do, but people don't do it. So, you know, it's all here, you know, when something changes here, when something clicks here, when when a mom that I'm working with, first of all, finds her why she wants to do it and how it makes her feel,
Mm-hmm.
you know, then, you know, something starts to change. So yes, we go through the process of, like, you know, creating the life they want, designing the life they want, and then like living the life they want. So we have like one-to-one sessions like once a week for 3 months.
Yeah.
So it's like 12 one sessions. Plus I'm giving them access to like all the whole training program, the whole like nutrition plans, and all the kind of tools about, like, you know, how to do this alongside, you know, mommy life. Because, you know, it's not about going to the gym for like a couple of hours, you know, every day, because if you're a mom, you just cannot do it. So and to be honest, you don't need to. If you know what to do, like that's why, you know, I've experienced doing things myself. I'm a fitness trainer, so I know what works, what doesn't work. I've done it myself, so I know how to help others without spending hours at the gym and without spending hours in the kitchen. So that's what I'm doing.
I love that. Congratulations. So I do have a question about that. So it just popped in my mind. There are a lot of fads out. There are a lot of shortcuts that people have created, like, you know, powders and, you know, pills and, you know, a quick 10-minute workout here, or, you know, all these little quick things that people can use to lose weight. What are your thoughts on that? Because I know personally that it's a process. You know, like you said, it's mental and physical. It's not just, you know, it's not going to happen overnight. But what are your thoughts on those quick fixes?
You know, it's like the same in life. Like, everything is a process, right? There is no such a thing as overnight success. Whether it's like, you know, if you're in a happy relationship, it's not that you just do one thing and it just happens.
Mm-hmm.
Or whether you're creating your business, you know, all the successful people in the world, it may seem that it's, you know, like that, but it's not. You know how much work you need to do in order to be able to do something. The same, like, at the moment we have, like, you know, winter